Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see. Let me share this screen here because you know how I am. I sometimes don't know what I'm doing. But well, yeah, I'll just do this. That was bright of me. I see. Okay. Oh, it's Firefox. My Firefox, there you are. Okay. This morning, we're, and I should enlarge that. Not that, this. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's what's going on. Besides my dog barking. Hey, it's Friday morning, and he knows he's going to swim. So I have a bunch of friends going to come and join me while I'm working on variant cover for AllStar by Milan Kovacs. And Steve Fabian, I believe, is the artist. And it's pretty cool, man. It's a really good comic. It's on Facebook, Kickstarter right now. Has a Facebook page too. But there's the address if you want to go over there and get yourself in on this. And so I've gotten this far. I'm going to basically show what how I got here, and then I'm going to set it up on Photoshop and optimize it, and then color it. Okay. Usually, probably using my little watercolor technique that I've been developing over the last several months. That works out pretty well for me. And so I guess sooner or later, these guys are going to show up. Let me see. Let me see if I can see what Milan's saying. Okay, I'm ready. Okay. Okay, I just sent it to him, so he should be able to come in now. There he is. There he is. I'm going to add. Hey, Milan.
Hey, so
I better put it on my. I usually don't have to listen to anybody. How you doing?
I hope I won't make an echo because I won't use this.
Okay, no problem.
Headphone thingy. Anyway, hi everyone. Hi David.
Hi Dylan. This is our first get together on my little live stream, which is I've been going a couple of months, and I've been following your exploits on Kickstarter, and you are rocking and rolling.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Well, actually, I wanted to say I'm sorry for my Mike Patton from Faith No More hairstyle, but it's really hot here today. And I just came out from the shower, so.
It's usually hot here. We're it's only like 84 degrees here, which is
I have no idea what that means because we use Celsius here in Europe.
That would be about. Let me see. About. Let me. I can actually do 84. 84 degrees. 84.
I was actually here before, but I didn't know that I had to click on the enter the broadcast button.
Well, I'm glad it's 28 degrees here.
28. Oh yeah, here it's right now it's 31.
Oh, that's not good. That's and it's probably humid too.
And in the middle of the day, it was 33.5 or something like that.
Yeah, that's close to body temperature. It's just not fun.
I had a bit of trouble setting up my scene because I'm right now I'm at home, but I couldn't get too far from the camera for my T-shirt to be seen. But
we ought to put up a brand or something like that. But I've got your URL streaming on the bottom of the screen, so that should help people.
Oh, I see. That's awesome. And this is the short version, actually. It's just www.allstarcomic.com.
Yeah, let me fix that then.
It's a little bit easier to remember if you plan to back the project, which I would be very much appreciating. I have no idea how you'll start digitally painting the cover, the variant cover you did for us, because not all artists can draw or color and speak simultaneously at the same time. So.
Do we have Steven coming in?
I'm sorry. I think so. I just he just read my message, but I don't think he clicked the button either.
Yeah, you can just forward that link to him, and it'll bring him in.
Yeah. So Tommy is traveling today, our colorist Tommy Varga, who for 4 years he has been working with Kevin Eastman on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So he's really experienced.
He's I mean, to me, he's the best because he's local.
Nothing like local.
Yeah. And he's pretty famous as well.
That's good. That's good.
So the URL is still not good. It's allstarcomic.com.
See, you need me to correct me all the time. Let me see.
Sorry.
AllStar Comics.
I have no idea what allstars.com, but
I don't know. Probably.
I hope it's not something like
Yeah, like an AllStar Comics.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we got it.
Oh no, it's without the S. Sorry, it's AllStar Comic. Just
okay.
Comic.
Okay, do it again.
Non-plural. So how are you today?
I'm great. I don't have to teach until Tuesday, so I'm happy. I got a small class right now, so I don't really have to do too much. Got everything set up, and I've been doing this for so many years that once you get all the little things put in place, it's like it's like it's like going to an automat and getting your sandwich.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now the URL is correct. That's
okay,
for
good.
Short link. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it HTTPS? Usually it is.
I think it's just without the S.
I'll try that too. Usually the HTTPS will work, but let's not.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about this one because it's just a redirect URL. So it's not like a regular page.
Yeah, we got it. Okay.
Awesome. For
everybody
the fourth try.
Yeah, everybody needs an editor. So I'll tell you what. Why don't I go through? I'll just do this.
Oh,
get rid of this,
great.
And then I'll show the development of the cover.
Awesome.
And then you tell me about the comic, where it comes from, and everything you want to say. This is the first thing I did. I sit in here. Say, I'm gonna do something for Millen.
So that's actually Jimmy, the main character in our book AllStar. Not All Stars Are Bright. This subtitle, because AllStar is the main title and the Not All Stars Are Bright is the subtitle, is because we plan to do a sequel not long after the Kickstarter. We are starting on a sequel to this comic. Anyway, so this is Jimmy, I presume, from the comic. And Jimmy is like just started high school, and he doesn't really find his place in the world or in his class. And he doesn't really know anybody in his class because he's a shy guy, and I would say not too talkative. I mean, he's not the guy who makes fun of others or anything like that. He doesn't like to bully anybody. He's just a regular guy. He doesn't have good grades. He's like an average student.
We've been there.
And this is perfect because this guy, who we only see from the bust and below, is AllStar, a superhero, if I can say that. And he's the creation of Jimmy Hand. That's his full name, Jimmy Hand. And it's funny that these names in the comic are like speaking names. I don't know if you have the word that in English, have that expression, but in Hungarian we use it like beszélő név, which is speaking name, and that means that
like a nickname.
No, it's not like a nickname. It's more like that's his real family name, Hand. And it speaks about him just a little bit. So we give away that he likes to use his hands to draw, and that's one of the Easter eggs I hid in the comic.
Cool.
Let me check just a little bit. Fabe is coming soon.
Wonderful.
He just said okay. So
cool.
I presume he's preparing his gear. Anyway, so AllStar is like another main character in the story, because even though Jimmy just imagines AllStar is real and he's just drawing AllStar in his own comic book, but if you read the comic, in the first few pages, you can see that every time Jimmy comes up with something in his own story, it somehow, how can I say that? Somehow
manifests.
Yeah, exactly. His real world. So it has a kind of power over his real life as well, and
cool.
And vice versa. So it's the other way around. It works as well.
Cool.
So
I like that.
Whenever he's getting bullied in school or in, I don't know, math class, because I don't know, he somehow likes math. That's his superpower. And he just gets better and better in time. And I don't really want to say everything about the book or tell the whole story, but in the end, it's really, really hard to tell for the reader or for Jimmy what's real and what's in his fantasy world.
There's Steve. Let me add Steve.
I can't wait to see him.
Welcome, Steve.
Yeah. Hey.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hey.
So that's Steve Fabian, or artist for AllStar.
Wonderful.
Hello.
I like your work, Stephen.
Thank you.
So just to let you know, Steve, I was just talking about the story of the comic. And I was talking about AllStar and Jimmy and how they essentially, I don't know, complement each other. Like one is a superhero, big bulky guy. The other is an average guy from how can I say that? I don't know the word. Sorry, like next door guy.
Yeah, he's like the guy next door.
Guy next door. Yeah,
The guy next door.
Yeah, so I was just talking about this, and maybe Fabe can enlighten us about designing these characters for the book or something like that. I don't know what he wants to speak about. Nothing.
Nothing really. I want to watch what's going on.
Well, I'm piggybacking
But I can
on
talk.
Steve's
That's
creation.
the way What's the question?
I'm piggybacking on Steve's creation now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, we got you.
It's perfect.
And so now I'm doing my version of AllStar, and I started it out in my little sketchbook. And I guess I didn't. Let me see. This was. Did I have this open? Yeah. I'll just show Steve the first thing I did if I still have it open.
Yeah, you just showed me. Maybe you quit that file.
Not that one. About. Nope, not that one. Okay, we'll try this one. There.
Yeah.
Just this little thing that I started doing in my sketchbook, and I just kept on erasing, and you know, I guess we all do that. Just erase until you get it right, and came up with this, and now I have to clean it up. Sort of like on a recipe show, you know, where
Are you working with digital tools or?
Yeah.
This is like
Well, I start out with a mechanical pencil. I use Bic mechanical pencils. I don't know if they have Bic mechanical pencils over in Europe, but they get their lead from France, and it's just like a regular lead pencil, except you don't have to sharpen it. And I got the whole idea from Alex Toth, who did that. And I love Alex Toth.
Another Hungarian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Alex Toth was also from Hungary. I mean,
really?
Not him.
Yeah.
Maybe not
his ancestors.
His parents. Yeah.
I think he even might have been. Let me check.
Yeah, I have.
He even had to speak Hungarian, I think.
He may have actually been an immigrant. Which is cool.
Let me check. I'm gonna check because I don't want to say something stupid.
Yeah, it says his parents were immigrants from Hungary, and they were from the Slovakian minority in Hungary. His
Cool.
father's name was Sándor Tóth. It's like Sandor.
That's about as cool as it gets, because I learned how to read from reading Zorro comics.
Yeah, and did you know that there is a Zorro comic in Hungarian as well?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, from a Hungarian writer and artist and colorist.
Look,
Great. That's wonderful.
I'm reading the Wikipedia, and it's very sad. It says death. Alex Toth died on his drawing table on May 27, 2006 from a heart attack.
Yeah.
So he actually died working.
Well, it doesn't get any better. Better to die in bed with your family around you, but
Yeah, for sure.
But he got treated so badly by the comics corporations and everything, and he said going and becoming a storyboard artist for Hollywood just was so much better. It's tough being that's why indie comics are cool, because the artist and creator is in control.
Well, yeah, he was a genius. He has a really big fan base even today.
He's the only artist I know of who makes reading romance comics interesting.
And that's a big thing, yeah.
His romance comics were just absolutely so beautifully drawn. You didn't care who got the girl or who got the guy or anything. You just looking at the drawings.
Yeah. And he was a really big name in animation as well, of course.
Yeah, he's wonderful. Space Ghost, Johnny Quest. There's there's an Alex Toth archive that I go to all the time just because
really?
I can't get enough of this guy. I think it's Brazilian. I think it's a Brazilian site, but it's in both English and Portuguese.
Oh, that's cool.
It has everything he ever did, which means he's got the real McCoys. He's got the Lennon sisters. He's got things that wouldn't mean anything to anybody who isn't my age. The Lennon sisters were.
Yeah, I never heard about those.
The Lennon sisters were 3 or 4 girls who sang on the Lawrence Welk show, which was a big show back in the 1950s. And he's a Polish big band leader, but he did polkas. And your parents would love polkas. People in my generation, we just couldn't get into Lawrence Welk, though the Lennon sisters had one sister that I had a horrible crush on. Oh yeah, that's normal, I guess so. And that Funicello and Lennon sisters. And
do you know how many Hungarian-born or Hungarian descendants work in comics right now? Because there's like a ton of them.
Wow, cool.
There's like Paul Gula. I don't know the exact pronunciation in English because I always say it in Hungarian. But Paul Gulacy, like Gulacy, Gulacy. Do you know him?
No, I sort of like abandoned comics back in the 70s.
I see.
And I would read comics and stuff like that. I knew that Frank Miller had kind of made a big splash back in the 80s. But by the time the mid 80s came around, I got written up in Comics Journal, just a little blurb in a drama professor at Arizona State did this thing on New Wave Comics. So I was a part of the underground comics scene back in the 70s. And he decried the idea that I had left comics because he thought I could have been a big deal. But by the time I read this, I said, so what? Because I had such horrible experience. I had horrible experiences as an underground cartoonist. I finished my book, got it published, but it was no big deal. I had a real hard time getting it published. I went to Ripoff Press, and Gilbert Shelton was really nice to me. I was like 20 years old. Really nice. I watched him do Furry Freak Brothers comic strip for the week of probably late October 1973, because he's several weeks ahead. And I learned a lot about comics just watching Gilbert Shelton draw. And it was just like really cool. It wasn't so much the way he drew, because I wasn't terribly much, didn't draw the way he did, but the way he paced comics, the way he used things. He's really good. And then, but I just got out of it. And so I know a few people, everybody knows who Jim Lee is, things like that. And I got into a few other underground things like Yellow Dog, but things that might not mean anybody today. When I decided to go back into comics, I just started doing this stuff. So I'm kind of, you guys probably got to educate me on a lot of the comics is going on.
Well, it looks like it. Anyway, I just wanted to say with this thing about Hungarian artists, not so much writers in comics, but artists, that there's like a ton of Hungarian artists in the mainstream comics and in the not so mainstream comics as well, like Image Comics or IDW, because like I mentioned, Tommy or Colorist also worked for IDW because TMNT, the Ninja Turtles, are published at IDW. So, for example, there is him, and it's pretty funny that he's been working for IDW for, I don't know, 4 years, and I just learned that he exists 2 years ago. And even though the Ninja Turtles are also published in Hungary, so I had no idea there's a guy living in Budapest who works for an international company like that, a big company.
That's very interesting, because the decentralization of all art, because of the digital world and global, and well, the fact that you can travel so easily now.
Yeah,
it's really cool. And it's meant that there's a lot more power in the hands of the creator.
Yeah, it's like that. And also, 21st century is like something so different to any other centuries. It's like anyone can be an influencer, whatever that means. You have like 1 million followers on Instagram, and then you can do just about anything.
Yeah. You're trying to get those 1 million followers, though.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I have 11,000 followers on Twitter, and I'll post something, and maybe 15 people will see it. So I don't know about Twitter.
I have no idea what Twitter is. I mean, I use it because I want to be present there as well, but I have no idea what it does really. And nobody likes, nobody clicks, nobody reads.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to show you something, and maybe Fabe can. So Fabe is Steve Fabian's nickname. Everyone calls him Fabe. That's why his nickname is on the screen as well. So I have all his original art for AllStar here in this portfolio.
Wow. Cool.
Which is strange because he's the artist.
It sounds like the old comics world.
Yeah. I feel like I'm back in the 1960s, 50s.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's.
That's the cover. That's the cover. Yeah.
This is the cover. And it was digitally inked by another Hungarian artist called Zsolt Garisa. And I can just, flip through it quickly. Here's the finished cover colored by Tommy. Maybe like this.
There we go. Okay.
And here's the first page of the book as well.
Mm-hmm.
On this side. And I can show you something non-spoilerish, like this one. This is one of my favorite pages. This one, and the other one as well. But this one is pretty cool. The baiting scene.
Really nicely done.
And I really like those pages. And I just wanted to ask Fabe to talk about his process, because he does everything on paper.
Oh yeah, cool. That's the way I love it too.
I'm an old school guy. I don't have any digital stuff. I don't even know how to use Photoshop. So I'm behind. I'm behind the times, unfortunately. I draw everything in by hand. So pencil, and then I ink it.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Not because I'm selling the originals. It's like I wish, but I'm not a famous guy, so I can't really sell my originals. But this is I like to use whiteout. Like whiteout is basically not. I don't use whiteout for correction. I use whiteout for textures, and I use it for like a pencil whiteout pen. I use it for like all kinds of shading, for drawing, for hair, or for feathering. So basically, I really need tools in my hand to do this. I can't see myself doing this digitally. And by the way, I can usually tell if something's done 100% digital, because it's sometimes you can really tell that it's not on paper. I usually like it. I like stuff better on paper. I think it looks better.
I'm a combination of the two. I have tried when all this stuff started back in the 90s. I was teaching high school, and I got involved in teaching graphic design to high school kids, and we were doing web design, everything like that. And I had some kids there who were like Photoshop geniuses. They could just do anything with Photoshop. When you're that age and it's natural to you, everybody just does it. And so I started actually learning from those kids. And so I had this big Wacom tablet that the school gave me, just in the classroom. And I started doing these portraits of kids using this Wacom tablet, which are okay, but I was better at it back then than I am now. But now I just like the feel of a pencil on a paper. I get more out of it that way. I can do all types of stuff. And then when I do it, I can scan it, bring it in here, and enhance it. And I get kind of the best of both worlds, because it's going to have to be digitally colored anyway.
Yeah, I can't color it just because I don't use Photoshop. I can't even color my own stuff. So basically, here in Hungary, it's like everyone colors their own stuff. But I'm used to the US I'm used to the US version, and everybody has a separate job. Like I'm the artist, somebody can color, somebody can letter. But I here in Hungary, everybody does everything. Like one person does everything basically, because I don't know. But I noticed that even in the US now, people hiring, they don't hire inkers anymore. They just hire just one artist. Somebody can ink himself, or sometimes they just use really dark pencils and then color the pencils. What I noticed.
That's me. I'm just I'm just working on the pencils. I used to do inking and everything back when I was a fan artist back in the 70s. I was together with a bunch of guys called Everyman Studios, and a few of them did real well. Like Rick Barry is one of them, and he does a lot of stuff with like Stephen King and Neil Gaiman. He's done Eternals covers and stuff like that. And he basically invented all this stuff that we're doing on Photoshop. He was the first one to ever do it. He didn't have a computer at the time. He kind of conned his way into doing the first cover for William Gibson's Neuromancer. And he went to MIT and said, "You guys got to help me because I don't know what I'm doing." So they helped him digitize this painting of his, and it became the first digital comic science fiction book cover, or book illustration cover. First one ever. So I knew these guys, but I just kind of dropped out of all this stuff and just became teacher. Well, I became a teacher by getting. I went through undergraduate school and then went over to Pratt Institute and got myself a student loan that has dogged me for the last 30 years.
Oh.
But
Wow,
I can't complain. I can't complain. Just a couple of bugs.
that sucks.
It's not so bad. It's not so bad. I had so many good things happen to me in New York that I can't complain. I got to know the greatest scholar in Heinrich Ibsen's work.
Yeah.
Probably the greatest scholar in the whole world. He became a buddy of mine, and I just I really can't complain. Let me see. Steve dropped out. What happened to Steve?
I think he was having internet problems last time we did a stream like this.
Well, if he has to, we can come back in. Let me see. I'm going to go. Let me see. I should open up your. Let me see if I can open up AllStars.
So if I can talk while you're checking that out.
That's good.
I just wanted to say I'm really grateful you did this variant cover, soon to be a print as well, I hope, once you color it. And also, this stream is really cool. I've been watching this stream for, I don't know how many months we know each other. It's not that much, funnily enough. It's like not even half a year, right? It's like 4 months.
This summer, I think we ran into each other on, was it on Instagram?
Oh, yeah, it was on Instagram, yeah. But we didn't start discussing serious things till, like, I don't know, till you launched the Patreon thing, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And there was a funny story with David that there is an awesome Patreon account he has. And for even almost the lowest amount of money is like $3 or something like that, you can get an original art from Blue Boy Brown, right?
Yes.
And he sent me 2 original. I think it's like 4 or 6 panels, 2 original half pages or something like that. And he sent me those from the US in the middle of this virus crisis on April 6th, I think, 6th of April. And it arrived 9th July. So
it's crazy.
He traveled for 3 freaking months in the world, but it still got to me. So congrats, USPS and Hungarian Post. I have no idea how you managed to do that, but thank you very much for the postal workers who did everything they could. And actually, they never even lost any of my mails, including this one. And this was the longest one. This had the longest route.
Yeah, it was very frustrating. I was eventually going to call them up and say, "Give us our money back." You know, if you're not going to deliver this stuff, at least give us our postage back. We can do it again.
It's not even that cheap. I mean, like almost $15. Here you can send, I don't know, like a ton of comics to the US for that money. So it's not even cheap. USPS is not even cheap. But
no, it's not.
At least they delivered in the end. I just had no idea how it took 3 months. So
there's Stephen again. Let me get Stephen back on.
I think he had a crash or something.
Welcome back, Stephen.
Hey.
Hello. Yeah, my internet connection is not the best. I think sometimes it just freezes and then it's gone for 5 minutes. I have a link here of me inking one. It's a few years old, but it's basically almost as it was done yesterday because I still draw the same way. I can send a link in a private chat over here, maybe.
Yep.
Or you can
inking stuff. Here's a video, but.
Or you could let me see. Look.
I don't know how to show it.
Oh, you filled one of the. you filled his jacket, I think.
Yeah, now I'm starting to color.
Wow, you started coloring after 40 minutes. That's awesome. I was just kidding. Oh yeah, I see the link now.
Let me see if I can get it. Let me see. I'll copy that. Put it into, okay, I put it in here. Paste it. Here, let me drag it over here.
Oh, that's great.
And maybe what I can do is to I don't know. Okay, I'll just show it. It's only 3 minutes. It'll be fine. And
Oh, that's great. So if
that's some
Dave
good
doesn't
inking you got going.
So if Fabe doesn't want to speak, I would like to highlight that he studied drawing comics in the Kubert School in the US. So
good.
When he was, I don't exactly remember if he was born in the US or they just, but I think he was born in the US because his parents immigrated from Hungary in the, I think, in the 70s, I think.
No, bye.
He's back. He's on the phone.
Yeah, my internet is really, really bad.
So I was just telling.
That's me inking, basically. That's how I ink.
I like that. Oh, that's really good inking.
And I use really cheap tools. So basically.
Well, you know, I heard it's an old story about Frank Frazetta, and kids would ask him all the time, "What do you use? What do you use?" And he showed some kid just the stuff he just found in the cutout bin at the art store, and he would use anything he wanted to. It was his hand. It was not the tool.
Of course. It makes sense, actually.
This is really nice inking, Steve.
Thanks. I hope you turn the music off because in the background it's a loud music. That's I usually draw.
I don't know if you can.
I usually draw with some loud music, so
I'm not sure you can turn it off. It's okay.
It's better this way. So anyway, Fabe,
that's why I was saying that you should turn it off because it's too loud.
So anyway, I was just telling about your story of the Kubert School. So I was just trying to figure out when you moved to the US or when were you born in the US?
Yeah, I was born in the US.
Oh, okay, so I was right.
In New Jersey. New Jersey.
Yeah.
And I was born in the U.S., but when I was 4 years old, my parents, the whole family moved to Hungary. And after 10 years, when at the 8th grade, we moved back to the U.S. again. So I went to high school in the U.S. I had to learn English, and then after high school, I skipped a year, and then I attended the Joe Kubert School because it was really expensive. So I had to work basically 3 jobs for a whole year just to pay for the fees.
I don't think you can go to a better school for comics than the Kubert School.
Yeah, but I had some like really like legends teaching me. Basically, like guys who were like already 85 years old, and they were my teachers. So one of the guys who co-created Green Lantern, he was one of my teachers. It's funny.
Who was it? That's Gil. That's not Gil Kane.
Well, not. It's not the. He was telling me that he was he was the very first artist to draw the old Green Lantern with
The one with the cape. One with the cape.
And when he was taking his lantern in his hand all the time, basically. Wow. And he was I think he might have done maybe issue 2, or I don't know. He was telling me that he did like back in the 40s. He drew the first few issues of Green Lantern. Then he also created the Wildcat, the character Wildcat.
Wow.
From the DC.
I remember Wildcat. The Justice Society.
After a while, he got out of comics and he did a newspaper strip called Dondi.
I remember Dondi.
He did Dondi for like, I don't know, like for 50 years or something, I think until the 1990s, and after that he was just basically just teaching in a school. His name was Irvin Hansen.
Irvin Hazen, yeah, that's his name.
That's cool.
Hansen or Hazen? He was a really short guy, kind of looked like Yoda.
That's pretty awesome.
He was one of my favorite teachers. I had some drawings from him. I always made my teachers draw. So
you never even told me about. You never even told me about Irvin Hazen. You always told me that your other favorite was Jose Delbo.
Yeah, Jose Delbo was one of my favorites, and then I had Irvin, and there was another really famous guy who was an inker back in the 1940s and 50s and 60s at DC Comics. He also did newspaper strip called forgot the name. Anyway, his name was Tex Blaisdell, I think.
Tex Blaisdell? I know who Tex Blaisdell is.
He was a really tall guy, big tall guy, and he used to live in a basement in the housing we were living in a Cuber school. He used to live with us, so basically we got drunk with him every night.
Tex Blaisdell, damn.
He was drinking beer, we were drinking vodka, and
wow,
he slept in the basement. So basically.
He has all these stories about Adam and Andy Kubert as well.
Well, back then they weren't teachers. They were the big superstar artists for Marvel. Adam was drawing Wolverine at the time, and Andy was drawing X-Men right after Jim Lee left. So he was a replacement for Jim Lee, and they were like big superstars. And they had a studio in a school. So basically, when we were bored after school, we just went to see them and just watched them draw and stuff. Sometimes we played basketball. Because the Cuber building is the school it used to be a big high school in Dover, New Jersey, and a really old high school. It was built like 100 years ago. I mean, you can still see the old entrance. They have a separate entrance for boys and for girls. They couldn't even go in. And then they bought the building. Joe bought the building back in the 70s, and then the whole school was basically we had the classrooms and we had a gym, so we played basketball. But I mean, I got really fat in those 3 years because all we did was basically we slept after school. We slept for like 5 hours, 6 hours, and then we started doing our homework all night. And then basically we didn't sleep, and then we just went to the classes. And then they gave you a lot of work all the time and deadlines. So they teach you how to make the deadlines. So it was actually kind of stressing. When I got out of school, I was kind of sick of drawing.
I can imagine.
And just when I got out of school, the whole comic book business just crashed. It was back in 1996 when everything went bust. All the small companies closed down. Only Marvel and DC stayed alive, and Dark Horse maybe. And then when I sent samples to DC and Marvel, they sent me back like, you have to draw like Jim Lee. If you want to get hired. You have to go with Jim Lee, you have to go with Mark Silvestri, you have to go with Rob Liefeld. And I said, okay, fuck you, and I'm not drawing. So I basically just went to work. I went to work at a supermarket and Staples after that.
That's interesting because in the mid '90s, I guess it was the mid '90s or the late '90s, something like that.
Yeah, late,
I mean,
mid and late night. You had to draw like other people, otherwise you couldn't get a job. Even the old guys, like the guys who were artists since the '60s, they had to like go, they had to ink like Rob Liefeld with the stupid cross hatching and the drawing the teeth, like always putting the teeth together and then big circles of breast and whatever.
I have a friend who was doing. I have a friend who was doing Spider-Man back in the '90s, and he said that they kind of just downsized, and they just got rid of a lot of people, and he became a storyboard artist. The best thing ever happened to him. It's being a storyboard artist, like with Toth. When you do storyboard artists, you have a life. Yeah. Like I remember back in the '70s, people would talk about how Jim Kaluta was doing The Shadow, and he would spend his entire day changing this to his drawing board. He never got to see anybody. He was like he looked like Dracula. He was so he never got any sun.
Maybe he was allergic to sun in the end.
I don't know. He's doing some good stuff.
But it's still I think it's still like that. In comics, you have to be a big name to earn bigger bucks, but usually storyboard artists and concept artists still get much more money. Even and especially illustrators, like I don't know, book or novel illustrators or cover illustrators get way more money for, I would say, way less work. I mean, of course, you have to be the best to be a cover artist, to know how to sell a book, how to do exactly what you have to do to sell a book. But comic artists still earn much less than they deserve. They deserve much more.
That's why I like being retired. Like when I came back into comics, I was already retired, and I'm not dependent on this for my income. Thank God.
Yeah. So I have another illustration or sketch, or I would say finished art piece with me. It's more promotional pick. We had this idea with Fabe to do this specific scene just for promotional purposes, and it was actually inked by Tommy, because Fabe only did the pencils for this sketch, and then Tommy inked it on a blue line copy he printed out from Fabe's digitally scanned pencils. And it was, of course, colored by him later on. I really like this piece of art because it's just so simple, and it has an homage for Nirvana's which Nirvana album is that? It's Nevermind. Yeah, if you know Nevermind. The album cover. So yeah, what's happened?
It's a swing lady. Basically, a newborn baby swimming on the water in a pool.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, because I don't know. I told Milan that my dream job is to become just a cover artist. I wish I could do that, just to do covers.
That would be fun.
My eyes are really bad, so I can hardly see the small panels anymore. I need to get glasses.
Yeah, that's why you do big panels now. Anyway, I have
I
a
wish I.
Hungarian. I'm sorry.
I'm working right now. I gotta draw small. Right now I'm
I
doing a
have.
historical comic. I can show you a page maybe.
Yeah, please do.
Show a page.
While Steve is looking for the page,
Here, let me.
I'm showing you guys. So this is the Hungarian version of the comic. It was already printed and published last year because
Cool.
we actually wanted to collect funds for and earn some money back from the comic. Collect some funds for the coloring, but we didn't really know how much money we would earn, and it exactly the money that came from that one event we premiered it was enough for the printing. So I wasn't really satisfied in the end. But this way, that everyone is at home. Fabe is in Dunakeszi, which is like, I don't know, 70 kilometers from here or 80 kilometers. And Tommy is like 60 kilometers from me. We can work from home and we can do a Kickstarter like we don't even have to meet each other. I don't like this, but because of the virus, not everyone is willing to go out or get into a pub to drink or something like that. And in the end, we settled for a Kickstarter, which is at allstarcomic.com. And this way, I was thinking we would reach more fans, more fans of comics, more fans of graphic novels, because AllStar is slowly becoming to be a 48 or 52 page comic, which I'm reluctant to call it a comic anymore. It's more like a graphic novel because it has a definitive ending, and even though we plan to do a prequel soon, it's still a finished book. So you don't miss anything if you don't read the sequel, which is already in the works. But in this Kickstarter, I was thinking that maybe we should broaden our audience. Like we used to publish comics in Hungarian in Hungary, but every comic we ever published in Hungarian, I have it in English as well. So it's pretty funny that this book is fully done except for the coloring. And Tommy is like, I think he is 14 pages into finishing the job. So he's like, I don't know, because the origin stories is done by another artist, not Fabe. And those are 4 pages, I think. So it's like, I don't know, 44 pages left for Tommy to color, 44 minus 14, so it's like only 30 pages. He only has to color 30 pages, and that's not a lot because sometimes he sends me 2 pages per day, not counting the weekends, of course. And that's pretty awesome. I think we are right on schedule for late September, early October fulfillment of the Kickstarter. And we simultaneously, we also publish it in Hungarian. And now it has like 18 different variant covers, which is like what DC or Marvel is doing with these anniversary issues nowadays. Like there was a Batman anniversary sometime, that Detective Comics anniversary, and they printed like 60, 80 different variants. Some of those were like comic shop exclusives, you couldn't even get it online. You had to go to a specific comic shop in the US, and that way you could buy that variant. I know this because I have a friend and also a fan of ours, a big fan of AllStar and a big donator to our cause and our comic books and graphic novels. And his name is Gabor. And Gabor told me that he collected all the detective comic variants, and I think it stopped at 64 different covers.
Wow.
That's insane. I mean, who does that? And they are clearly only doing this for a marketing purpose, for the kind of fans who want to own every different variant cover for the same interior pages.
I've heard a lot of chatter about speculators in comics.
Oh yeah,
and how creators don't like speculators very much. And I'm from the baby boom generation, and we were collecting comics. I had a friend who had 250,000 comics. But you know something? Everybody was doing that. Now, when everybody wants to sell them, the market is glutted. You say, "Hey, I'm gonna retire on this." No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not gonna retire on this. Everybody's selling them, and you can get them everywhere, which is kind of nice. And then you've got the digital stuff, so you can buy them digitally. So why would you want to, unless you want a physical copy? And I would love to have a physical copy of maybe Superman 162, where, you know, the death of Superman, when Jimmy Olsen has a little bit of piece of kryptonite in his camera. I would love to have had that. Everybody remembers that one?
Yeah.
I remember that.
I have that issue.
You had that issue? Oh,
I have that issue. It's still unopened. I still have the black. I have the black armband inside the poly bag. It's not even open.
Oh yeah.
I bought like 5. I bought like 5 copies when he died, Superman. So I have like unopened poly bag comic books from the 90s. I have a whole bunch.
And everybody has those.
Even my friend of mine who didn't read comics, he was buying them because he thought he was gonna get rich from it. But I told him, like, dude, you know, they printed like 6 million copies. It's not gonna be worth a lot. And people, that's why the whole business imploded back in '96 because of this variant covers.
Finally, I'm not seeing myself.
Yeah, I got distracted. Let me see.
And behind the scenes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, show me. Yeah, let's look at them.
That's the cover of the new comic I'm working on. It's the logo title is going to be up here, so that's why I usually leave some open space. It's basically about a battle between the Romans and the Celts people who used to live here in Hungary back in the Roman times. And it's I was hired by the museum here in Hungary, who Roman they have Roman ruins in Budapest, some old city of Aquincum. They used to be in a Roman city, and there's a museum there, and that they hired me to draw a 10-page comic. And actually, Tommy is coloring this one. So this is the cover, basically. I can show you that. Really nice. I have the first 5 pages here. Here's the first page. You can see the circus of the gladiators.
Oh, that's nice.
Awesome. There are also some Celtic fairies.
Oh, I love it.
Here, when we go inside the circus, we got the Roman soldiers drinking wine, watching it, basically.
Wow.
And there's the next page. Hold on a second. I don't know how much you can see.
Very nice.
That's page number 3. And here's the next morning, the battle. The Romans and the Celtic against each other. They're facing each other. First the Romans, and then see the other side, the Celts, the so-called barbarians.
Fortunately, the Gauls were the ones who came into battle naked.
Yeah, this is supposed to be the Gauls used to live in France, and there's actually battle here. This is actually a pain in the ass to draw. The actual battle scene.
Very nice.
That's awesome. I like this one.
Good use of positive and negative space.
Right.
Of course, you went to the Kubert School. You got your apprenticeship was top drawer. Very nice.
I had a very good design. I was very lucky because my design teacher he wasn't even into comic books. He wasn't a comic book artist. He was basically just a graphic artist, and he was a really good designer. His name was Barry Bryant, and he was a commercial artist. He was illustrator for New Yorker magazine, and he taught me all about the design of the inside of the panels, like how to design inside the panels, like how to draw big, like a foreground, make it big, no small hands, big hands, kind of like Kirby.
Yeah.
And I was lucky that he was a teacher for a couple of years.
It's like you learned your lesson well.
The next project, I still have a month left probably before I finish this one because I'm really slow right now. There's no deadline because of the virus. The deadline is basically scrapped. So when I have no deadline, I'm really lazy. And but I should be finished maybe. I should be finished hopefully this summer by August, and then I don't know if I wants to do the next project, or I don't know what's going to happen. We'll find out.
Hopefully the sequel. I totally forgot what I wanted to say. And he's also working with Tommy on this project, right? Fabe.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can't really show you. But I don't have it online. These things. I don't know. I don't know if I can. I have photos I can show, but I don't know how to send it.
Yeah, but
I would need to see. I would need to send. I could send it to you maybe on Facebook, and you can I don't know. I don't know how to project the colored pages because it's not on paper.
Yeah. So it's a team, funny story that in a way I inspired, and AllStar started this team up with Fabe and Tommy. And I'm pretty curious if you could do something like Fabe is penciling and Tommy is inking and coloring. That would be also a very interesting collaboration.
Well, I'm impressed, Fabian. Steve, Fabe, I am impressed.
I don't know.
I really like your work.
Thanks. I'm the old school artist. Like people used to tell me, I draw like Silver Age. Basically, like I don't the modern style. I draw basically like kind of like Jose. Jose was my big hero, Jose Delbo. And then also I'm a big John Buscema fan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If I need to draw horses, I just swipe from John Buscema.
Yeah, Buscema was outrageous. And Sal is still around, isn't he?
Yeah, Sal is still around. I wish I could. I wish I could somehow like get a commission. I actually have a couple of original pages from Sal. I bought it back in the 90s when these pages were really cheap. The original pages. I bought these pages from Sal's artwork, like from one page from Spectacular Spider-Man, and also an older page from 1960s from Namor the Submariner. He used to draw.
Guy could do anything.
I bought both pages. I remember that each page costed $15. $15.
15.
Now the same pages cost like $1,500.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know.
prices.
I don't know what you'd say if I said you'll get $15 a page.
Yeah. Okay. So here I'm looking at the coloring, this watercolor. So we could make Jimmy a redhead, couldn't we?
Well, he's a blonde, but
sandy colored hair.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's all right.
Blonde.
Yeah, strawberry blonde. Trying to make strawberry blonde. Hey, strawberry blonde's
what's that?
Strawberry blonde is a blonde, but it's kind of reddish. And I don't know what you
reddish
know.
blonde.
Yeah, reddish
Never
blonde.
heard that expression.
Redheads are my weakness. I married a woman with black hair.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, believe me.
Oh, I know who you were talking about.
That's a good color for him. I would say.
It goes well with AllStars.
Yeah,
costume and his own too. It's no accident that the colors of Jimmy Olsen are orange, green, and violet, because that's a perfect split complementary.
Yeah.
Now I have to clean those edges up. I don't do flats because I'm lazy. I found a place on the web that actually does flats for you automatically, but
really?
But there's so many dadgum little compartmentalized shapes within it that you just abandon it and just go like this. So I just do this because
Well, as for Tommy, I know he has a specific flatter, so he uses. I think it's a girl. He's using a female flatter from somewhere in the world. I guess he is paying her something. I don't know how much it usually costs to get a flat colored artwork. No idea.
It's not much, but there's a lot of tutorials on the web about flatting. I've looked at a few of them, but with all the things I have going on and everything, I just never got around to the idea of doing flats. I
only ever colored one piece of art, Fabes, and it was only spot color, so black, white, and yellow.
I'm gonna get sloppy here and then just clean it up. As long as I don't go over that edge there.
So this is how you usually do it, and the magic comes a little bit later when you use that watercolor effect you're famous for.
Well, I'm not famous for anything, but when I'm doing this stuff, I usually put a texture layer over this of a piece of rough 300-pound watercolor paper that I bought like 30 years ago when I was working for Utrecht.
And you only have that one sheet, and you
Oh
scan
no,
it.
I had 100. I've got like 100 sheets of those over the last year. I still got like 30 sheets of them, but I just scanned the thing, and I just put and I actually could do that for this. I'll decide a little while whether I want to do that, whether I don't want to go fully to just watercolor effects. Because what I'm doing is I'm just putting the flat colors down, and then I'm going to modulate it. Because when you're working on this, you can create you can create kind of the shadows just by using what's called multiply. Just doing that. And so your shadows are just a deeper color.
I see. It's just like an overlay or something.
Yeah, it's just like overlays it, which usually you don't get that. But I'm lucky enough that I teach college. I've been a college teacher for 28 years or something like that, this same college. And they give me Creative Cloud. I get everything that Adobe does. I don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
It's not cheap. It's like $60 a month, but I get it for nothing. So I'm real happy about that. When my chairman said, "Yeah, we can set you up with this," I just it was all I could do to keep from kissing her.
That's pretty cool.
So
I see you're using a Macintosh.
Oh yeah, I used to use Windows, but Windows is all my students were saying, "Mr. Taylor, you've got to get away from Windows. Bill Gates is the devil." And eventually, I started teaching this animation class in my school, and then I got I stopped using it. I bought a Mac. That's what I'm doing here. I bought a Mac, one of those old, just before they came out with the cheese graters. They had those blue Macs, Mac Pro, which wasn't terribly fast, but hey, I got stuck on Mac, and I can't go back to Windows.
Yeah.
No way.
That's pretty interesting. I'm gonna show this to Tommy. And
Tommy will say, he'll probably look at this and say, "What an amateur." Well, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. But I'm going from trying to turn this into like a digital watercolor.
Oh yeah. That's what I was hoping for, actually, because I really like how you mimic watercolor digitally.
Okay, then that's where I'll go with this.
Anyway, I just saw myself again, and I see I went from Mike Patton to Nick Cave in a few minutes.
You bet.
Yeah, so different hairstyles in the whole stream. In the end, I'm going to do a Robert Smith version as well from The Cure.
Sure, I don't even follow music anymore. The Grammys come on, and I go, "Who are all these people?"
Yeah, I have no idea. These guys are older guys. I mean, Nick Cave, Mike Patton was like well in the 50s, I guess. In their 50s. So it's not contemporary in a way, but it's still contemporary because they're still alive.
Yeah. Hey. Even Ringo's alive.
So I always wanted to ask Fabe about coloring, if he ever did or if he ever studied to do colors in Kubert school, or did you not have to do that? Or
yeah, I had painting classes in a Kubert school. Basically, we even learned to color comics. I could probably color it, using colored ink we used to use, dyes. I can probably do it like old school, like old style, back in the 1970s, 80s. That's how the colorists used to color. They used to color photocopies.
Ah,
I could probably do that with brushes and stuff, but that's no one works like that anymore. So I would need to learn Photoshop, I guess. But I'm too old for that. I don't have patience for that.
I got into Photoshop back in the 90s. It had a lot to do with running into Rick Barry when the internet started coming together. All these guys that I used to hang out with in the underground days started showing up again, and I found out that he'd done all this stuff. So I said, "Oh, I'll try some of that stuff." That's the only reason why I ever got into it.
I see.
Okay.
It's coming.
Well, if I ever
along.
need Photoshop work, like some minor, I usually ask Milan for help. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
But in this way, at least it's teamwork. I like teamwork.
Somebody's old black on there.
I don't think I mentioned how we worked together on AllStar with Fabe. He told me, no, he asked me to give him a kind of Marvel style script, which is, if you're not familiar with the term, Marvel style means it's more like a plot, and you don't. In our case, I didn't even write page numbers. Sometimes I just told Fabe what's going to happen roughly in the story, and then he finalized the page numbers. Like he said, okay, this is going to take me 3 pages. I was like, oh, okay, let's do it in 3 pages. And sometimes I had these pacings because Fabe was constantly sending me new pages, finished pages. And I was like, okay, but here we have to speed up the story. So you can't do 2 pages for this scene. You have to do it in 1 page. And sometimes that happened, but it was really rare. So usually I just accepted what he said. And because of this, we went from 30 pages to 33, I think, in the first version, the black and white version. And talking about Marvel style script, Marvel way, it was I think it was invented by Stan Lee, right, Steve?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So in a way, it has a pretty big legacy because Stan just died a few years ago. I fortunately got to meet him 3 times, I think.
Cool.
In London 2 times, and no, just 2 times. Sorry, 2 times, but both were really very interesting and very educative as well. Anyway, I just wanted to say that for Steve, Marvel style worked the best because he knew what he wanted to do. Even the character designs were like, okay, just show me what you think about, what you think of, how Jimmy would look like, how the Beast of Balaton would look like. Balaton, by the way, is the biggest lake in Hungary, so it's a little bit of local monster.
Uh-huh.
And how Princess Monocle would look like, and how sometimes I describe some teachers because it's kind of autobiographical as well.
Certainly.
Not in every way, but sometimes I described some of the teachers I had in high school, so or in the primary school, or in university at university. But usually he just nailed everything. I only remember one page he redrew, which was, I think, the last page of the book, and it was the rough he drew for the first time. It was still used as a back cover, so it was inked by Tommy, inked and colored by Tommy, and then we used it for the back cover because it was a kind of sentimental image Fabe came up with the first time. So we had a really, really good time doing this graphic novel. Sorry, I keep saying comic, but it's a freaking graphic novel.
Well, that's how Steve Ditko came up with Spider-Man, and that's basically what Jack Kirby was, where Jack Kirby was coming from when he said that he felt like he should be the co-creator of all these things.
Yeah, but in our case, Steve and I are the co-creators of AllStar and all its characters. So cool. I never said I created these characters. All the visuals, almost all the visuals, are created by Steve. The story and the characters, the essence of the characters are created by me. And what's that if not a proper collaboration? It's a co-creation.
Sounds wonderful. Sounds the way it should be done.
I agree. There are some stories like the Stanley Steve Ditko and the Stanley Jack Kirby ones, but there's some fairly recent ones as well, like Robert Kirkman and Tony Moore on The Walking Dead. Uh-huh. There was also a lawsuit about that really? Clash of Giants. I don't know if you guys heard about that one.
I don't keep up with too much of the comic news, though. I've been trying to get sort of more into it. I got a subscription to a comics journal about a year and a half ago, but they don't seem to be doing much anymore.
Oh, that's not good to hear.
It's a shame. They used to have some really good stuff, but I got a really nice perfect bound copy of the latest issue of Comics Journal. And it had an interview with a guy that was like 100 pages long, and I didn't even know who this guy was. Wow. I never heard of him.
You don't remember his or her name?
Oh, I know his name. His name. You know, I looked at it and said, but I had never read any of this person's stuff. Never read anything by this person ever. I never even knew this guy had lived.
Well, you know, it's not his or her fault. It's not their fault. It's like I know there are a lot of comics coming out each Wednesday, but I don't keep up with 95% of them.
You can't. There's too much going on.
And I don't even want to, because I also want to do my own comics. So yeah.
When you're actually working on comics, you don't have time for too much else than what you're doing.
Yeah. You know, I was just having fun via email with, I don't know if you know the artist, or at least his name, Frank Whiteley. He's
I know exactly who he is. AllStar Superman.
Yes.
One of my favorite issues of my favorite runs of Superman is that particular one. It's really good.
Mine too. Yeah, I'm a big Grant Morrison and Frank Whiteley fan, and I got the pleasure to meet them personally as well. And I've been to Frank Whiteley's studio in Glasgow as well. So
that's neat.
I can almost say I can call him a friend. So we were just exchanging some emails in the last few days, and he was laughing at one of the riddles in my comic, because I can't believe this either, but he read my comic. It's like, it's
Nice.
pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome feeling. I don't know what you say about that, Fabe, that this guy, Frank Whiteley, one of the biggest living artists in comics right now, read your comic you drew.
That's nice. Did he like the art?
Yeah, he liked everything, and that's just what I wanted to say, that he said these, or he wrote these exact words: the comic looks amazing. That's what he said. And
Oh,
what
nice.
bigger compliment you need? I don't need anything else. If everybody else tells me that your comic is like the worst story I've ever read, I would still say that. But Frank Whiteley said otherwise. It's like, I don't care.
That's right. Quietly's big deal.
Yeah. Anyway, and he was just asking about the riddle we have in the book, and he had no idea what the solution was, but he still tried to guess it, and it was a really funny exchange of emails, because he was nowhere near the solution. And I'm pretty curious how everybody else solved the riddle of Princess Monaco in the book, because AllStar couldn't solve it, and Frank Whiteley couldn't solve it either.
I
Apparently.
can't solve it.
Sorry?
I can't even solve it.
But I told you what the solution was. It's pretty obvious.
I forgot already. It's just gone from my brain.
You're getting old, Steve.
I am. I've just turned 46.
46.
Well, I remember 46.
I thought you were 44. That was too
No,
easy.
I was 45.
Oh. When was it? Yeah, your birthday was like a week ago, right?
Yeah, it's July 16th.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
And mine is coming up next Wednesday, so it's pretty close.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
just
a
2 weeks.
Cancer.
So, speaking about AllStar Superman, I don't know if you heard the similarities in the name. We actually came up with another friend of mine for the superhero name AllStar from AllStar Superman.
Oh boy.
And it's not a ripoff. It's more like an homage, that we wanted to use something like that, because like if I'm thinking with Jimmy's head in the book, sorry, he thinks like, okay, so I read this comic called AllStar Superman. What would I name my own superhero? It's like, of course, AllStar, because I can't name it Superman. That's DC's superhero. But I can still name it AllStar, because there's just something in the title. So that was my way of thinking of naming our superhero AllStar.
You can't I don't think you can copyright a name like that. So anyway, there's no superhero named AllStar. You got it.
At least I hope. I tried to Google it multiple times, and nothing came up except for the AllStar imprint of DC Comics, which was like AllStar Superman, AllStar Batman, AllStar Batman Robin by Frank Miller, and there was something else, but it's just the imprint. There are multiple star named superheroes like Star-Lord, Starman, Star whatever, Starro, Stargirl, but not AllStar. And AllStar sounds like, I don't know, something silly, because it's a 14-year-old boy who comes up with these names. Like Princess Monaco comes from a similar story, but a real life story. But I really don't want to tell that one. It's not kid friendly.
Okay.
Oh, you're making progress. Good progress.
Yeah, I've been doing this. One of the cool things about doing this live stream every weekday is that it forces me to actually do some work.
That's a good thing. You're doing the shadows now, right?
Yeah.
I see. And you're just winging it. It's not like you do this the first time ever.
Yeah. This is it. This is it. It's the first time I've done this on this. And the great thing about doing it on the computer is that you can just, if you don't like this, you just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can always
just
redo it.
Make it disappear.
I'm doing it on my color. I'm doing it on my color layer. That was a bad idea. Okay, wait a second. Okay. What is on my shadow layer?
Oh,
that way I don't miss
the right layer. I see.
I can do it again.
So, guys, just excuse me for like 2 minutes. I just have to go to where, and then I'll come back. 2
Certainly,
minutes.
when you get to be my age, you'll be going there more often.
You shouldn't say that.
I always give my classes
Be back in
a break in the at 2 hours in the classroom, not for them, but for me. Yeah, let me see. That may be too green, but they have multiple undos on Photoshop now. So, Steve, you must have had a heck of a time at the Kubert School.
Yeah, it was fun. It wasn't very healthy. As I said, I got really fat. We kept just eating. We didn't exercise enough. We just kept drawing, sleeping, and eating basically, and drinking. But
that's what you do in college.
After school, after I got out of school, I was like kind of sick of drawing, and then I tried to get some. I sent samples to a few companies. Maybe I get some comic work, and it kept saying, rejecting that. You have to draw like Jim Lee. You have to draw like this. You have to ghost somebody else. And then I was like, okay, whatever. So
That'll drive you nuts.
I didn't draw for 10 years. I basically didn't. I stopped drawing almost altogether, and I didn't pick up a pencil until like I moved back to home.
Well, I'm glad you started again because you're doing some excellent work.
Got a job in the U.S.
That
a comic job.
That comic you showed us is top drawer. That's really good stuff. It's good that you come back into comics. Maybe this will be the beginning.
Yeah, I've been drawing comics for last 7 years now.
Good.
I've been trying to make a living out of it. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but I mean, especially here in Hungary.
That's the cool thing about
I don't want to. People tell me I should try, like send samples to Marvel and the U.S. companies. I'm like, nah, I don't want to. I don't want to compete with all those people. I'm not fast enough anymore. I don't like to draw really fast anymore. I can draw fast, but I prefer to do everything at my own pace. So that's why I'm working with Milan. So we do our own comics, basically self-publishing, and then I own the rights to it, basically.
You've got the right idea because in the past, comic book artists have not been treated terribly well.
Yeah.
Think about how they treated Jerry Ordway. They just said, okay, you're no longer the Superman artist. What? except for Kurt Swan, in my opinion, except for Kurt Swan, Jerry Ordway is the best Superman artist ever.
Yeah,
Ordway's amazing, amazing. He was like a combination of Kurt Swan and Mort Drucker.
Yeah,
just so spot on. Everything he did was just beautiful. And then they just said, "Oh, we're going to use somebody else," and they did the same thing to Kurt Swan.
Yeah.
So you're smart by doing it yourself.
Yeah, I wonder if Jerry Ordway still works. Does he still draw?
I think he does. I follow him on Twitter. So he's on Twitter. He's on Facebook. He's a really. I think he's one of the great comic book artists. He's one of the reasons why I started collecting comics back in the 90s again. Just to get all his stuff.
I agree. And a lot of the old guys who are still alive, these guys who used to draw back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, these mostly like 70s, 80s, they don't even get jobs anymore. They just sometimes get to draw a cover maybe. They basically live off of commissions.
Yeah,
they don't get jobs. A monthly comic book. They don't get monthly comic books anymore.
Nope. Everybody's. It's the millennials who are getting it.
Yeah, and then also like a lot of these companies getting artists from South America, because from Brazil and from Argentina and Chile and Mexico, and basically I think because it's a lot cheaper. I think
this is similar to what happened when Neil Adams tried to unionize comics back in the late 70s. DC just basically hired people from the Far East and broke the union, which that's what corporations do. They look out for themselves.
That's really, really sad. And just like I didn't know what you were talking about in like when I arrived, but Brazilian. I have a lot of Brazilian comic artist friends, but they usually work for DC and Marvel. So I would say they work for real money. But there's like, I mean, David, you should know, because there's like tons of indie comic groups on Facebook, and they keep advertising themselves, and some of them work for $25 page rates.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I seen one guy working for $15 per page, and it wasn't bad. And he could tell a story, and the characters weren't bad at all. But for $15 a page, and it's like, who can compete with that? But who wants to pay that little for an artist? I'm like, that's really, really sad.
Well, I think what you guys are doing is the way to go. I was a blip on the screen 45 years ago. I was flummoxed when some kid walked up to me while I was trying to finish college. He looked at me and says, "Are you the Dave Taylor?" I said, "The Dave Taylor? What are you talking about?" Well, there actually is a Dave Taylor. You said you know him. But I said, yes, "What are you talking about?" But what had happened is that I'd been written about in Comics Journal, and I didn't give a hoot about all this stuff. I was doing printmaking. I was doing etchings. I was into Rembrandt, Picasso. But, you know, so since I was such a blip on the screen, I said, well, look, I'm coming back into comics, and there's only one way I'm going to make any mark. I have to do a long-term project, and it's the long-term that's going to get you. You guys are on the right track. You should turn this into something as big as you can get it, but own it. You guys, only you own it. Only you own it, because only you will take care of yourselves, because you guys have ethics. You're not corporations. You're not looking out to please the stockholders. And so you just be artists. And then you'll be able to build a life, because sooner or later it's going to catch on. And the great thing about the world is it doesn't have to become, you don't have to be DC or Marvel. Have a great life.
I would say I'm speaking on behalf of Fave as well, that we would never want to do deadlines like that, like 22 pages per month for the penciler, and then hire another inker or Fave inking himself, and then a colorist working on for, like, I don't know, 1 week. Or Fabe knows these DC Marvel image deadlines, and they're like outrageous.
Yeah.
It's totally inhumane. It's not for somebody who wants to have an actual life, who wants to live life. It's like, I wouldn't be able to do that as a writer. I flesh out ideas, and it's impossible for me to write 2 or 3 or 4 comic books weekly, or
You could.
monthly, to make enough money to have a good life. And then I don't know how much time I could spend doing something else, doing everything else, because I would be glued to the computer, writing and telling the artist what to draw, and correcting the artist's mistakes, my own mistakes, and stuff like that. It's impossible for me. So the only way we can do this is the indie way, and this is what we want to do. Even though we have variant cover artists from DC and Marvel Comics, Geraldo Borges from Chile. He's like a really big name right now. But he's also doing his own indie comics. He's also a writer, a co-creator. He works with Brazilian, Chilean writers and artists. He has this Brazilian education program, comic education, stuff like that. He has a promotional company. So he's like a very multi-talented artist, and other things as well. And he graced us with a variant cover in the very beginning, which is actually in the book as well, as a poster on Jimmy's wall. So he was supporting us from the very beginning. He even drew one of the variant covers for Fabe's other comic called, is it White Meat, right?
Yes, White Meat.
White Meat, yeah. Another comic we plan to do on Kickstarter, because it was only published in like 50 copies, 50 Hungarian copies, and like, I don't know, 15 copies for the English version. I have no idea. Even I don't remember. But it's a good story. It's a good story. It's a funny story. It's a really cool comic book. It's a sci-fi adventure. And Fabe's art is top-notch as usual. We plan to do something like that in the future. Shorter stories, longer stories, and then serialized stories. Like I have a parody, a superhero parody called Goddamn, which is like a Batman, Superman, but mostly Batman parody. And I want to do that on Kickstarter as well. So we already have 2 issues finished, like fully finished. Coloring, everything is finished. We even have it in English right now. And our next project after AllStar is to get funding for that, sending out in the world. We have Japanese, Chinese, of course, a lot of people from the US, the UK, Germany, Poland, Czech Republic, Portugal, Spain, Italian backers on Kickstarter. So it's our comic is gonna travel around the world, and a lot of different cultures, a lot of different kind of I don't know. How can I say that? A lot of different nations, a lot of different cultural nations will read it. So I'm pretty happy about it.
I think you should be. To have a really successful Kickstarter campaign, right? The first thing you ever do. And I think it had a lot to do. I noticed that what you did is you did a lot of legwork before it ever began.
I actually read about it that the big pros do 6 months of pre-work before the launch. 6 months, half a year.
Wow.
And I can see that now, because I see or flaws as well. I mean, it's not like it's not story wise, it's not comic wise, it's nothing about the story. It's more like technical things. Like if I had a big mailing list, newsletter, email list from the beginning, I could easily send it out like for, I don't know, 500 people, for like 500 from the world and 300 to Hungary. But we didn't have that in the beginning. I could only, I only came up with this reading about successful Kickstarters and successful creators. And I was constantly in contact with a lot of other creators, a lot of creators who do their campaign exactly the same time as we do. And I still do that. And we only have like 5 days left, and I still try to reach out to other creators on Kickstarter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and like you did, invite us for this awesome stream. A lot of other people did the same. I mean, not nearly enough, but I still say we are quite busy. I'm definitely really busy. I've been working 16-hour days for 2 weeks, and for this last two weeks I started to slow down a little bit, because I was feeling that I couldn't get enough sleep, and I was constantly thinking what to do next, how to make the project even better. But it's in a way it's our first project. If we got the 1,500 British pounds we started with as the goal, I could still be happy about it. But we are right now, I just checked the last minute, in dollars, in US dollars, we were above 3,000 US dollars. That's a lot of money. I mean, Hungary is a cheap place. We can use that 3,000 to give this graphic novel AllStar an even better treatment, printing wise, and revamping the dialogues, everything. The color's gonna be beautiful. I saw what Tommy came up with for some of the critical pages. Fabe said everything is awesome. So in a way, it's a lot of hard work, but from now on, I can only work. I can let myself only work on the comic from now on. I don't have to work on the freaking campaign anymore, because it's making me totally crazy in the end.
Yeah, but that's I've heard that when you're doing a Kickstarter campaign, it's daily, and it's just like never ending. And you have to be promoting it constantly, and hey, that's life. But it only lasts for a month.
Yeah, but that's a lot of time, believe me. If you never did this before, and I never did this before, it's like it's not like 30 days. It feels like it's a year.
Yeah.
And it really does feel like a year. I can't tell anybody who never did a Kickstarter campaign before, because of course Fabe, Tommy, and all the other variant cover artists like you, like Geraldo, like a lot of Hungarian talents, they help me share the project. They help me promote it on their own Instagram, Facebook, whatever accounts. But in the end, I had to do the biggest work, because I have to constantly be on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, on I don't even know how many social media networks. Because if I'm not there, there might be a chance somebody who wants to back the campaign won't see it. And there's a great example how I thought about marketing ideas. Like when Tommy offered that he would do painted commissions, like Steve also does commissions in this Kickstarter for, like, I don't know, if you compare it to, if you exchange it to dollars, it's like $125, and you get the comic, you get the commission, and you get free shipping to the US. That's like really cheap. And you get an 11 by 17 inches commission by Steve. That's awesome. And a lot of people were interested in that thing, and a lot of our backers were really interested in that. And there are some backers who also requested commissions from Steve and from Tommy. A painted commission from Tommy is like just a little bit more money than from getting one from Steve. And I started posting these commission samples Tommy and Fabe sent me to these very specific groups, and try to make it look like it wasn't a promotion for our campaign. But these commissions were commissions I ordered, or I received, or I promote this guy, but not or Kickstarter. But in the end, and this is a really, really big tip for future Kickstarter launchers, is to go there, promote yourself, make it look like it's not a promotion, because, and I'm not lying, we received, the first day I put this in one of the groups on Facebook, we received I think 6 extra backers, and roughly like I can't convert maybe I can, as like $600 in like, I don't know, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I noticed it. That day.
And that's the thing about getting from 90% to 100% or above. We really struggled after 5 days. And I was like, oh, I thought this was gonna, because we reached 65% in 6 hours. And from 65% to 90%, we needed 4 extra days, which is that doesn't make sense. But in the end, I only needed this one post in a German comic fan collector group, and that one fan gave us enough money from 90% to 100 and I don't know 110% or something like that. Whoa. To reach above 100%. Just one guy.
That's wonderful.
So that's like insane, and you have to think. You really have to think outside the box here, because it's not something you can sell, because it doesn't really exist at the point you're promoting it. It's just a kind of promise. You make a promise to your backers, you make a promise to your donators, you donors. Sorry, I always mess up this word. So your donors, and you have to keep that promise. But that's the future, of course.
I think you guys are going to be very successful.
Thank you.
I think you guys are going to be very successful.
Amen. Amen to that, David.
You got
anyway,
your concept. We've spoken about your concept, offline and everything. Your concept's rocks. It's really good. And you got Steve. I want to give you more kudos. You're going to get tired of hearing this, but you got the right artist here. This guy rocks. He knows how to pace. He knows how to pace a story. How to do compositions that bring you in. I think you guys are going to do really, really, really well, and it's just going to be a matter of time. And that's the cool thing about it is like you don't have corporate suits coming in telling you what to do. You've got the time. I remember my buddies that are talking about it was the Everyman group. They should have done that. They got involved in the Keanu Reeves movie. Johnny Mnemonic. Because it was a William Gibson enterprise, and it was going to be a really good film, except that the corporate suits came in and just told them what to do, how to do this, do that, do this, and before you knew it, it was Johnny Mnemonic, which is not a particularly good film.
I agree. Yeah.
And but you guys have sidestepped that, and that's the great thing about what's going on right now, is that you can sidestep the corporations and do it yourself. And yeah, you're not going to become millionaires and everything like that. Who needs to be a millionaire? If you're a millionaire, you need bodyguards.
I agree. But you can do what you like, what you love, and I love comics. I love doing comics. When I was starting out as a publisher, a small publisher, I didn't even write comics. I just felt good about myself just publishing them. So that's how I started, and I would say this is a kind of happy ending in a way that it says the end at the end of the comic, but it's there's a question mark after it, because we really don't want to be this. Really don't want this to be the end for us. This is just the beginning for us. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting a little bit hungry and tired. I thought I would go out and eat something. And it's been.
I'm gonna have to leave anyways too. So
2 hours.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna finish this, but it has been so much fun having you guys here.
Thank you, David.
I love European comics. European comics are, I think, sometimes a little more mature than American comics.
I hope so.
You guys are gonna do great, and I'm glad to have made your acquaintance and your friendship, and we'll do this again when the next time you guys come out with a comic, or the next time you guys have a Kickstarter. Let's do this again, because I really enjoyed it.
Maybe for the next AllStar, maybe for White Meat, we can get you a cover for the sci-fi comic I did.
Great.
Monster comic.
Anything you want.
That's really nice of you,
David. Up to you.
Super.
Yeah, thanks a lot anyway. And thanks for the nice words, and thanks for the cover, and thanks for everything.
Well, I am more than appreciative of the opportunity just to hang out with two really cool guys, and it's one of the nice things about coming back into the comics world is getting to meet guys like you.
I call it the comic family.
You bet. Yeah.
Thank you very much, David, for having us. And I only want to say 2 words or 3: back or Kickstarter.
You bet. Yeah, back his Kickstarter. Go to AllStar. Go to
Thank you very much.
allstarcomic.com and do it.
And it's gonna be an awesome cover you're painting here, David.
Yeah,
So.
we'll talk later about the exact specs. I got the proportions from your PDF that you sent me, and then I just simply made sure that the proportions were correct. And there's 600 dots per inch, so you should be able to resize it any way you want.
Yeah, we can print a banner from your art as well.
Okay, super.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us.
So I'm so happy to see you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Talk later.
I do not know how to. I don't know how to remove you guys from the stream. Let me see if I can do that. Okay.
Okay.
Let me see.
No,
No, I can't kick you from the. They all these things are these are all punitive things. The things when I do a right click, it says ban from studio, kick from studio. So you guys, I don't know what.
Remove from stream. That's what I'm gonna click. Bye,
okay,
guys.
I'll put remove. Okay, I'll see you guys.
Have a good work, David.
Okay, Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Wonderful guys, man. I'm glad I met them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep on working on this until probably till 1 o'clock or till my wife says get off the computer because you got to eat or something like that. So let me see. Okay, now. What's this? Layer 1. What did I do on layer 1? Oh, I see. Okay, I know what that is now. That's my total layers. See, I'm going to take myself off the stream so that I have better, so I have more there. So getting there. Let me see. No, my guests have departed, but I'm working a little bit longer on this. So guess what I'll do with this is when I get finished, I got it to the point where I'm happy with it. I'll flatten it and then send it to Milan. Let me see if I can go both ways. Okay. Let me see if I can just. Let me see. that a bit. Just touch that. Okay, take my headphones off. There's not going to be any audio. There. Let me see, it might be a good idea. Do some burning down here. Create some idea of clouds in the distance, so that there's a sense of receding into the background. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to play around with some dodging, and then if I don't like it, I can always undo it. Let's see if I can smudge it. Here's my Saison touch here. Little thing that I discovered with, especially in the what I'm doing, the landscape. The Saison had this thing of going just and creating these little brush strokes that became like little facets. Yeah, you really have to do it when you have do this. It helps to have a little bit of a higher contrast in the foreground. That's about the coolest things happened to me in a while. Be able to work with some really cool guys doing comics. Yeah, I'll never try out my little Saison idea. Do-do-do-do-do. Okay, get rid of that black in there. These shadows. Do this layer of shadows over here. A second. Here, shadows, so I don't destroy that. And then I gotta make it normal. I can't make it normal. Can't get too complex. No, I don't want it special like that. Okay, where am I? Let me take a tiniest bit of break and back in a second. Need that. I'm almost finished with this. Okay, what else can I do to this? Oh, cool. Oh, I'm smudging here. Okay. There's that. Okay, now there comes a certain point where you say, okay, now you must stop, because if you don't, you overwork it. I don't want to reach that point. And I have it. I have. Put my headphones back on. I have him looking pretty close to the character. I'm looking pretty close. I got my own little thing, and then I changed the slight temperature of that green to that green. Then he has a red cape, so I have a red cape. And it has this thing here, but I make it like this because I noticed it was like that when Steve did it. So it doesn't have hair, so I'm not mine. And this boy has something like that, and he's wearing red, but I was the coloring that they have for the comic. He's wearing a slightly different value of blue here over that. Let me look. I'm going to do a few little extra things, but mostly in the drawing part. Okay. That's got to be way down there, guys. Oh, yeah, this is a 600 pounds per inch. Okay, so yeah, just do a little bit of improving my drawing, which straight out of my sketchbook. So maybe it just needs a little. I don't like that. So Alex Toth is Hungarian. I think in the back of my mind, I knew that, but that is so cool since Alex Toth is my hero. Alex Toth without reservation. And pray for the old guy every day. You should pray for your comic book heroes, the guys who really produce such beautiful work and didn't get much money from it. Boy, I like the way Steve inks, man. It's just like boom, boom, boom. Places for color coding bonds and something like that. That I think that helps. The kid's hair needed some, just for the use of line, just to be added some volume to it, so it doesn't look like it's just a colored drawing. So there.
Yes. God bless you. Bye.
Sweetheart. Look at that line here. Accentuate this line. Just kind of transparent, slightly transparent, like that. That was good. Okay, let me see what I got here. Let me see. Anything going on up there that disturbs me? Yeah, that did. That disturbed me. That disturbs me. That disturbs me. That's not so bad. That's okay though. Okay. Now I'm going to duplicate it. Okay. Then I'm going to flatten the image so that it is not so big. And I'm going to do the same on my computer. And I'd like to show what I got here. See what I did in my pictures folder. Strong variant, but I'm going to save it. See what it's like if I save it. Just it's. Oh, well, it's 105 megabytes now instead of 527 megabytes. I didn't say how, but okay. 600 dots per inch. It's fine. So, okay. Now let's I guess I can do it. Yeah, so I've got it on the computer, I've got it on the cloud, and I've got it flattened so I can send it to you without it ballooning up to half a gigabyte. Tenth of a gigabytes, I guess, but good enough. Yeah. So it's I'm limitations. That's fine. Okay. So let me open up what I had desktop. Yeah. This is what we have there. Yeah. So that's what we did today for my friends in Hungary. Let's see how I view fit on screen. There we go. So go to allstarcomic.com. Get yourself this Kickstarter campaign. Get yourself involved in it. It's good. This is a long-term thing that's going to turn into some really good comics. So I highly recommend it. And so it'll be cool. So I got to talk to Milan Kovic and Steve Fabian, and that was a really good day. And so I'll put this up on Google Drive or someplace like that. And I'll then Milan come go get it. Okay? So I will see you on Monday. We'll start working on the next page. Blue Boy Brown. Okay. Bye bye.